really bear down on him.
Plus.
And he needs to watch out that by the time he has the impetus to make the move, his chips don't actually equate to much.
Min is praying somebody picks up something.
Wow. From Craig doesn't like something about this. I don't think he's just dwelling. I don't think this is just Hollywood. I think he's actually taking something into consideration here.
Well, Matt, I mean, from Burgess's point of view, Min has raised, I think every time it's come around to him on the button, and little does Craig know that Min's had hands.
Yeah,
I think every time.
It's the perfect situation. It's so hard for. I mean, if Craig hits this and Min plays this well, this could be a really big pot for him.
Check.
Actually, a good flop from Craig, and that
10,000.
shouldn't have any funny ideas.
I tell you what I also like about Min is he always seems to take about the same amount of time. He doesn't really dwell up a huge amount.
No reds.
He just seems to make a decision and act upon it. And we always say sometimes, you know, your first instincts are the best thing, and he just seems to play like that. He doesn't muck around so much.
25.
Oh, he's making a play, and this is not gonna go well. You can see the thought process from Burgess, but it's just
yeah.
It's
And
just
against a lot of hands, it would be the right thing. But I mean, Min now can just take a second, give a bit of a sigh. Oh, you re-raised me.
Is there a reason not to push here if you're Min?
I'm all in.
All in.
No. He answered it for me.
Nice bet.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Craig I think Craig wanted to show that he was a staunch defender of the blind, and
absolutely. And look, you can see he's thinking maybe my timing wasn't so right. Though I think the thought process was correct. At some point, we've got to push back on our celebrity. But the truth is, it's actually not him making moves. He's just had the cards, and there it's cost him a lot to find out.
Still to come. The action is mounting, but who is panting?
Howard would be screaming if he was in.
All in. Stamina will be key as this lot try and make it to the semifinals. Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com World Open 4. Dave Gregory now on about 60,000, and Ward the first one to crack 150.
Plus. Raise to 14,000
As
total.
Bafo comes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a different move. We've not really seen this from Boff before.
Pass.
He's been either just limping in or
Pass.
making a massive move with aces.
Call.
This is the danger. Danger is what happens when you miss the flop. There's 31,000 out there, and Boff needs it. I think you might have to push no matter what.
Well, absolutely. I mean, how can you let this go? What kind of a strategy is it? If you want to get involved, you at least have the momentum of being the raiser. I think that he has to throw at this. Oh.
It was a beautiful flop for Boff, and that Burgess missed. And
yeah,
now Burgess could be coming.
6,000.
6,000. I'm just not sure about the size of that bet. I don't know what that says.
Well, it does look a little bit like he's trying to milk Burgess with an ace, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I just get the feeling he hasn't got enough chips to play this game.
Flush draw, pair draws for Boff, and he can bluff it.
Check.
I think he can win this one all in. Do you think?
I believe he can, but I don't know if he's got the gumption to do it.
Get him in there, Boff. Come on, Boff.
18,000.
Oh, I don't know.
18. Well, it could look like it's meant to be tempting.
Tough call from Burgess.
It is. Oh, fantastic. I mean, that's the only good thing is, like you said, maybe the bet's so small it looks like I've got such a big hand, I'm just trying to milk every last single chip out of you, and the bet at the end.
I mean, you can't blame Burgess for folding there. It looked like 3 aces all the way.
Absolutely. Well, it looked like lots of things that were beating your pair of sixes, certainly.
And for Boff, how much confidence is that going to give him? He's off the floor, off the mat, and he bluffed it. Not much coming easy for Boff. in this heat, Neil? He makes maybe an easy layup look hard there.
Well, this is it. You say it didn't really go easy, but he didn't make it too easy on himself, I think, Jesse. I mean, he's very low stats, and he's trying to complicate things. And to me, his pre-flop raise is terrible. I mean, he's low stacked. Basically, these one-table format, it's not that difficult. It's not rocket science. He's got low chips. Why don't you just stick the whole lot in? You've got a reasonable hand, 10 jack. If you get called, it's not the end of the world. He's made a bet where he's inviting a caller, and he's going to get involved in a pot now where he needs to hit his... He doesn't have a made hand, he has jack high. You know, what does he want to start getting involved in a pot for?
That said, once you get to the flop, how important is the continuation bet, or does that actually look strong when he checks there?
Well, I don't know. It's come ace-ace. I think you have to make a continuation, but he's raised the guy's called him. He's got to just have a blast, and you know, again, if I haven't somehow managed to get all my chips in before the flop, I'm certainly putting them all in on the flop. Okay, fair enough, you might argue that by checking the other guy might be worried he's got 3 aces, but you invite all kinds of problems. You have at no time have you really asked the question, what's Craig's hand? So it's very hard to define his hand now, but because you've bet weak before the flop and you haven't bet on the flop, he's asking for trouble really, Bob.
On the turn, could he have gone all in there as well?
There's plenty of chances to get it all in this hand, Jesse. I can't believe I'd have got to the river without all my chips being in the middle, but having got to the river, the flush cards come, he suddenly decided to represent something. I don't think even he knows what he's representing, but you know, he was up against a bloke with a pair of 6s, so he managed to get it through anyway.
There's a lot of infighting in the blinds in this sort of format. You have to really have knives on your elbows, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And the problem now for a lot of the players is if somebody attacks your blinds to defend it,
Raise to
again, it
14,000
requires a
total.
sizable amount of chips and the
Pass.
knowledge that that could continue to be an expensive hand throughout the streets.
I'm all in.
Raised all in.
It was 6 + 8 to 14
Count,
for
please.
Ward, and Gregory has just tapped the monkey here.
Okay, that's 14.
Well, I don't know how much more it is for Andy. 32,000.
32 more.
It's not. Yeah,
Call.
he has to call.
Yeah.
I mean, Gregory's made a push here
Yeah,
that it's very hard for Ward to get away from reasonable hands.
absolutely. And he's getting 2 to 1 out of the pot, and he's actually found that he's totally dominating Dave.
You know, Dave might have thought he had more chips than he did.
Maybe so, but
He's all in now. He's all in. He could be out the door.
well, this is surprising. I mean, there we were, scared of him, and somehow he has got himself into this dreadful position.
It's no prettier now.
No. And this would be a fantastic pot for Andy. He's already top of the leaderboard. This would.
Jeez, he's going to have about 200K.
Oh!
Look at that.
Ouch.
7 out the side of the deck. You talk about shocked. Ward wishes he had whiskey in that glass.
Yeah.
No, he's in it.
Oh, he's
It's a
counterfeited.
redraw. Dave's out. He can't believe it.
Wow. The worst beat of all, the counterfeiting on the river.
Oh,
2 pair.
Oh, my.
Enjoy playing with
Yeah.
you.
Oh, Dave Gregory
Mate.
will be kicking the trash can tonight. That was a hard way to go out.
Well, he came to play, and he certainly wasn't afraid to get his chips in. And at the end of it, a gamble paid off for a brief second, and then it was all downhill.
Look at that hand again. The cruel way to lose is the counterfeit on the river.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts for Andy when it comes down with the 7 on the turn, but the 2 pair on the board on the river. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, and the ace kicker plays. Jacks and 8s for both.
He had the best hand in all fairness, and I got lucky, and then he got lucky. That was it. End of story.
Well, Andy Ward has broken this game wide open, Matt. He's been getting it quietly, but emphatically.
And it's good news for players like Boff and Patel, because Dave Gregory was a real big presence at the table. And I'm sure they'll be very happy to see him leave.
They're still talking about moving. Ground to Enfield, but I think they're
Andy
cooled on
is,
that a little
in
bit.
addition to being
Yeah.
a poker
The
junkie, he's a
Enfield
mad football fan.
Enfield don't really want it.
That's about that in his blog.
Pass.
Well, if we had any reservations about how comfortable
Raised to
Andy
15
Ward would be
down.
at this televised table,